This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. After my good buddy turned into a woman, he had drunk a bottle of pink liquid and woke up as a stunning beauty with curves in all the right places. She was wearing my ex-girlfriend's silk nightdress and threw me a flirtatious glance. "Remember what you said before," she teased. "If I turned into a girl, you'd be the first one to sleep with me." At 7 in the morning, I was woken up by a rustling sound. I was about to curse and go back to sleep when I caught a glimpse of something pale out of the corner of my eye. I opened my eyes wide and saw a woman standing at my bedroom door, wearing my shortest silk nightdress, the one my ex left behind. It barely covered anything. 2 long, fair legs, almost completely exposed. My mind went blank. My first thought was that a thief had broken in. And not just any thief, but one with a very peculiar fetish. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" I grabbed the lamp from beside my pillow, my voice trembling. The woman turned her head, and the moment I saw her face, the lamp slipped from my hand with a loud clatter. That face, except 100 times more delicate than usual, had the exact same features as Sam. "Rocky, you're awake," she said. Her voice was soft and sweet, undeniably feminine, but the lazy, teasing tone was exactly like Sam's. I pinched my thigh hard. The pain made me wince. "Not a dream." "Sam," I called tentatively. "Who else?" She walked over to pick up the lamp. The neckline of the nightdress dipped. I quickly turned my head away. "Did you give me something to drink last night? I feel weird all over." That was when I noticed. Not only her face had changed, her figure was outrageously different. Curves in all the right places. Skin white as milk. A complete contrast to the dark-skinned guy she used to be. "I didn't give you anything," I shouted. "Last night we just had some beer. You got drunk and crashed on my couch. And now you wake up like this." Sam looked down at herself, then raised a hand to her chest. Suddenly, she let out a scream. "What the hell is this?" She pointed at her chest in horror. "Rocky, am I possessed? Why do I have these on me?" She flailed her arms so much the nightdress nearly flipped up. I rushed forward to grab her hands. "Can you stop moving? At least put on some clothes first." I grabbed an oversized hoodie and sweatpants from my wardrobe and tossed them to her. She just stood there confused. "Well, put them on," I urged. I don't know how. It hit me then. She was in a woman's body now. Maybe she really wasn't used to it. "Just like before, put your head and arms through," I explained patiently. But she fumbled so badly, she nearly strangled herself with the hoodie. I had to step in and help her get dressed. Up close, I caught a faint fragrance on her. Not perfume, more like natural body scent. My heart skipped. I quickly stepped back. "So what now, Rocky?" She sat on the bed, head hanging, voice trembling with a hint of tears. "If my parents find out, they'll kill me." Honestly, I had no clue either. Stuff like this only happened in novels. "How about we go to the hospital?" I suggested. "Hospital?" She looked up sharply. "If I tell them I used to be a guy and now I'm a girl, they'll lock me up for research." That wasn't entirely unreasonable. I pulled out my phone to search for similar cases. All I found were weird ads for novels. "So what do you suggest?" I asked. Sam went quiet for a while. Then her eyes lit up. "I remember last night when I was drunk. I found a strange bottle in your yard. It had pink liquid inside. I thought it was a drink, so I drank it. Could it be because of that?" I rushed to the yard, and sure enough, in the corner was a broken glass bottle with traces of pink liquid still on the ground. "Are you insane? You just drink random stuff you find." I wanted to hit him but looking at her now, I couldn't. "How was I supposed to know it was something weird?" she said pitifully. Right then her stomach growled. "I'm hungry." She looked up at me, her eyes suddenly soft in a way I'd never seen before. I felt a jolt in my chest and quickly turned away. "Fine, I'll make breakfast." While I fried eggs in the kitchen, Sam leaned against the doorway watching me. "Rocky, what if I can't change back?" she asked suddenly. "I don't know. I didn't look back." "If you can't, then just live as a woman. With your looks now, you could snag a rich guy easily." "Bullshit," she snapped. "I'm not living as a woman. Even going to the bathroom is inconvenient." I set the eggs on the table. She grabbed chopsticks and started eating like a barbarian. Egg yolk smeared at the corner of her mouth. I handed her a napkin. "Wipe your mouth, you look like you haven't eaten in days." She wiped haphazardly, then grinned at me. "What are you smiling at?" I asked uneasily. "Rocky, don't you think I'm pretty now?" She leaned closer, her big eyes fluttering under long lashes. I had to admit, she was beautiful, the kind of beauty that was dangerous. Her eyes alone could hook a man's soul. "Average," I said, stubbornly staring at my rice. "You're just jealous," she huffed. She picked up more egg and bumped her elbow into me. Her arm was soft. I jerked back like I'd been burned. "What are you doing?" I barked. "Nothing, just an accident," she said innocently. Something felt off about her, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. After breakfast, she said she wanted a shower. I gave her shampoo and body wash and told her to be careful. Less than 10 minutes later, she screamed from the bathroom. I rushed over. "What happened?" I don't know how to use this body wash." She cracked the door open just enough for me to see her wet face. Hair plastered to her forehead, water dripping down her cheeks. Looking unexpectedly sexy. "Use it like you used to," I snapped. But she hesitated. "I want you to scrub my back." "Sam, are you out of your mind? You're a woman, now I'm a man. How the hell am I supposed to scrub your back?" back. We used to go to the bathhouse and scrub each other's backs, she said matter-of-factly. That was different. Back then we were both guys. Ever heard of men and women keeping a distance? Oh, she muttered, sounding disappointed, then shut the door. When she came out, she was wrapped in a towel, hair dripping over her shoulders, water sliding down her neck, across her collarbone, disappearing beneath the towel. I quickly closed my eyes and recited calming mantras in my head. Rocky, can you dry my hair? She held out a hairdryer to me. Do it yourself, I said without looking. I don't know how. The wind is too strong. I'm afraid it'll blow my hair off. She tugged my arm playfully. Her hand was soft, her tone teasing. I felt like my bones were turning to jelly. Fine, I sighed. Sit. She sat obediently. I stood behind her and switched on the dryer. Warm air carried the scent of shampoo. Her hair was long and silky, a far cry from her old buzz cut. My fingers brushed her scalp from time to time, and she'd shiver slightly. Your technique's not bad, she teased. Shut up, I muttered, focusing on the task. When I finished, she stood and spun around. Pretty. Her hair was fluffy and soft, framing an even more delicate face. Still in just a towel, most of her fair skin was exposed. It gleamed faintly under the light. I swallowed and looked away. Not bad. She suddenly stepped closer, stopping less than 10 centimeters from me. I could smell her scent, feel her breath. Rocky, she murmured, her gaze hazy. Don't you think I'm sexy now? My heart pounded, blood rushing to my head. What are you doing? I stepped back and bumped into the table. She kept closing in, her hand pressed down on my shoulder, stopping me from backing away. Her hand was soft, yet her grip was firm. I just want to know. She leaned close to my ear, her breath warm and fragrant. Do you have feelings for me? That warmth brushed against my ear. A shiver ran through me. It felt like a current traveling from my ear through my whole body. Sam, are you out of your damn mind? I pushed her away, my voice trembling. I'm your brother. So what if you're a woman now? You're still my brother. She stumbled back a few steps, almost losing balance before steadying herself. There was a flash of hurt in her eyes, but it was quickly replaced by a playful smile. Just kidding. Why so serious? She shrugged, turned to the couch and sat down, picked up the remote and turned on the TV. Come keep me company for a while. I stood there, my heart still pounding hard. In that brief moment, I had to admit, I felt a flicker of hesitation. But she was Sam, the brother I grew up with, sharing everything since we were kids. How could I even think of her that way? I took a deep breath, walked to the other side of the couch, and sat as far from her as possible. On the TV, a romance movie was playing. The male and female leads were kissing. Sam suddenly turned her head toward me. I quickly pretended to focus on the screen. Rocky, she spoke again. What do you think kissing feels like? I ignored her, but she wouldn't stop. She leaned closer. Should we try it? I'm a woman now anyway. Consider it a little preview. I shot to my feet. Sam, don't go too far. She flinched, caught off guard. I'm going to the store. You stay here and behave. Don't touch anything you shouldn't. Don't wear my silk nightgown. And don't seduce me. I grabbed my wallet and bolted, as if a monster was chasing me. When I reached downstairs, my face was burning hot. I leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Damn Sam, ever since becoming a woman, she's been completely reckless. Doesn't she know? I'm still a normal man. With all her teasing, I could feel my defenses starting to crumble. The air conditioning in the supermarket was blasting, but I still felt overheated. The products on the shelves blurred in front of me. I couldn't focus on any of them. All I could think about was Sam's face, and the way she whispered in my ear. I must be out of my mind. I grabbed a few snacks and drinks at random, paid quickly, and hurried back home. A nervous thought nagged at me. What if Sam had caused more trouble while I was gone? When I opened the door, the living room was quiet. Sam wasn't on the couch. My heart tightened. I rushed toward the bedroom. Pushing open the door, I saw her lying in bed, covered with a blanket, apparently asleep. I exhaled in relief, tiptoed back, and put the groceries in the kitchen. Just as I turned around, I heard movement from the bedroom. I walked over and saw Sam sitting up, rubbing her eyes, her hair messy. You're back, she yawned, her voice lazy with sleep. Maybe it was my imagination, but she seemed even more attractive than before. Yeah, I replied, avoiding her gaze. What did you buy? She tossed aside the blanket and got out of bed. That's when I realized she wasn't wearing the hoodie and sweatpants I gave her. She had put on that silk nightgown again. Sam, I told you not to wear that nightgown. I snapped, but it's comfortable. She glanced down at herself, then looked up and smiled at me. Besides, don't you think I look good in it? She deliberately pushed her chest forward. The neckline was already low, and now it revealed even more. I quickly turned away. Change out of it right now. No, she pouted. Not unless you agree to one condition. What condition? I gritted my teeth. Come here and I'll tell you. Her voice carried a hint of laughter. I hesitated, then slowly turned toward her. She walked up to me, rose on her toes, and whispered in my ear, "Kiss me once and I'll change." That warm breath touched my ear again, and I felt my reason starting to break apart. "In your dreams." I shoved her away and walked toward the living room. "Rocky," she called from behind me, "don't forget, when we were drinking once, you said if I became a woman, you'd be the first to sleep with me." I stumbled, almost falling. Damn it, she remembered that. We had been drunk back then, talking about what it would be like to switch sexes. Sam had said, if he became a woman, he'd be a stunning beauty, with admirers lining up around the block. I was drunk too, and joked, "You, even as a woman, you'd still be a rough one. Only I wouldn't mind. I'd take you first." Never thought he'd actually remember it now. That was a joke, I shouted, my face so hot it could fry an egg. "I don't care." I took it seriously. She stepped in front of me, a teasing glint in her eyes. "Now I'm a woman. Aren't you going to keep your word?" "Sam, have you no shame?" I laughed in disbelief. "That was just drunk talk. It doesn't count." "Why wouldn't it count?" She argued. "A real man keeps his word. Besides, looking like this now, don't I attract you even a little?" As she spoke, she leaned against me, her soft body pressed to my arm, making it hard to breathe. "Stay away from me." I pushed her back, taking several steps away. "Rocky." Her playful look vanished, her eyes serious. "I know this is strange for you, and I know it's hard to accept, but I can't change back. I tried everything. Nothing works." I froze. "What did you try?" "I collected the rest of that pink liquid from the yard. I drank a little. Nothing happened." Her head lowered, her voice muffled. "I even tried taking a cold shower. Still no use." Seeing her so dejected, I felt a pang in my chest. "Still, this isn't the way." I sighed. "We'll think of another solution." "What other solution is there?" She looked up, her eyes red. "My parents are coming to see me soon. If they see me like this, they'll freak out. Rocky, you're my only hope now." She stepped closer, grabbing my hand. "Will you take responsibility for me?" Her hand was soft and warm. Looking into those reddened eyes, I felt myself waver. "Take responsibility how?" I asked, my voice dry. Like a boyfriend treats a girlfriend." She lowered her head, her voice barely a whisper. Her cheeks flushed. My mind went blank. "Take responsibility for Sam. Treat him like my girlfriend." That was insane. Sam stopped messing around. I tried to pull my hand back, but she held on tight. "I'm not messing around." Her gaze was steady. "I know this is hard for you, but I really don't know what to do now. One day I was a man, and suddenly I'm a woman. I don't understand anything anymore. You're my best brother. If you don't help me, who will?" "Not like this." I frowned. "We can hide somewhere. Wait until we find a way to change you back." "What if we can't?" She countered. "What if I can never go back? Am I supposed to hide forever?" I had no answer. She was right. What if she never changed back? "Rocky, I know you like me." Her eyes glimmered with mischief. "Earlier in the bedroom, you looked at me differently." My stomach lurched. Had she seen through me? "Don't talk nonsense," I said stubbornly, but my face grew hotter. "I'm not talking nonsense." She leaned closer, her breath warm on my face. "Your heart was beating so fast." I heard it. Her face was so close. I could see her long lashes, her sharp nose, and those soft red lips. My heartbeat quickened again. "Don't get so close." I stepped back. "Rocky." She suddenly stood on her toes and kissed my cheek. "Just think of it as doing me a favor, okay?" Her lips were soft, the touch like a spark of electricity. I froze, completely dazed. By the time I came to my senses, Sam had let go of my hand, run into the bedroom, and shut the door. I stood there, touching the spot she had kissed. It still felt warm, still carried her scent. What the hell am I doing? I slapped my own face, trying to clear my head. Sam was my brother, a man. Even if she was a woman now, she was still Sam. I couldn't have these messed up thoughts. But that kiss really made my heart skip a beat. I ruffled my hair in frustration, sat on the couch, turned on the TV, and found I couldn't follow a single scene. The bedroom door stayed closed. There was no sound inside. I started to worry. Could she be thinking of doing something foolish? After hesitating for a long time, I still walked to the bedroom door and knocked gently. "Sam, are you okay?" There was no reply from inside. I knocked again. "I know you're feeling terrible right now, but don't let your thoughts run wild. If something's wrong, we can figure it out together." Still no response. I grew anxious. I pushed the door harder. It wasn't locked. I opened it and saw Sam lying on the bed, her back to me. It looked like she was crying. "Sam." As soon as I spoke, she turned over. Her eyes were red, tears all over her face. She looked pitiful and fragile. "Rocky, I'm scared," she choked. "I don't want to be a woman. I want to change back. I want things to be like before. Drinking with you, playing ball, eating barbecue together." Seeing her cry like that, it felt like something twisted inside my chest. It hurt. I walked over and sat by the bed. "I know. I want you to change back too. But for now, we can only face reality and slowly find a solution. Then will you promise to take responsibility for me?" She looked at me, her eyes eyes carrying a trace of hope. I stayed silent. Honestly, I was torn inside. On one hand, it felt absurd and hard to accept. On the other, seeing her like this, I couldn't bring myself to reject her. I need some time to think, I said. The light in her eyes dimmed, but she still nodded. Okay, I'll give you time, but you can't abandon me. I won't abandon you. I sighed. Rest for now. I'll be in the living room. I sat in the living room all night. The TV was on, but I didn't take in a single thing. My mind kept wrestling with itself. Reason told me Sam was my brother. We couldn't be like this. Emotion told me. When I looked at her beautiful face, smelled her scent, I couldn't see the rough man I used to know. It was almost dawn when I dozed off. When I woke, the sun was already high. I rubbed my eyes and saw Sam coming out of the kitchen with a plate. She was still in that silk nightdress. You're awake. I made breakfast. She put the plate on the table and smiled at me. On the plate were fried eggs and bread. They didn't look great. The eggs were burnt. The bread was over-toasted, but I still felt touched. I used to take care of her. I didn't expect her to cook for me now. Why didn't you sleep more? I asked. Couldn't sleep. She sat across from me. I wanted to make you breakfast. I don't know if you'll like it. I picked up my fork, speared a piece of egg. It was bitter, but I swallowed it. It's good, I said. She smiled. Her eyes curved like crescents. After breakfast, she suddenly said, Rocky, let's go out. I want to see the outside world, and I want to try wearing women's clothes. I froze. You want to wear women's clothes? Yeah, she nodded. I'm a woman now. I can't wear your clothes forever. Besides, I want to see if I look good in them. I thought about it. She was right. I couldn't keep her locked inside. Okay, we'll go to the mall and buy clothes, I said. Great. She jumped up happily. The hem of her nightdress lifted, revealing pale thighs. I quickly looked away. Change clothes first. Wear my hoodie. No, she pouted. This is comfortable. No way. I was firm. There are lots of people outside. If you go out dressed like that, they'll think you're crazy. She pouted again, but reluctantly went to change. When she came out, she was in my hoodie and sweatpants. Though loose, they couldn't hide her shapely figure. Let's go, I said. We took a taxi to a downtown mall. The moment we entered, Sam's attention was caught by everything. Looking around like a curious child. Wow, this is so pretty. She pointed at a cosmetics counter, her eyes sparkling. You're still a guy deep down. Why look at cosmetics? I teased. I'm a woman now. She glared at me. Isn't it normal for women to look at cosmetics? I had no comeback. We went straight to the women's clothing section. A saleswoman greeted us warmly. What can I help you with? Pick out some clothes for her, I said. The saleswoman looked Sam over, smiled. This young lady has a great figure. She'd look good in anything. We just got some new dresses. Perfect for her. Sam's eyes lit up. Really, let me see. The saleswoman brought a few dresses. Sam tried them one by one. When she came out in the first dress, I nearly stared too long. It was a simple white dress, but on her it looked pure and beautiful. Her pale skin made it look even whiter. Her long hair draped over her shoulders, and she smiled shyly. It was like she was a different person. How is it pretty? She twirled in front of me. It's fine, I stammered. The saleswoman added, Sir, your girlfriend looks amazing in this. Like it was made for her. Girlfriend. I was about to correct her, but Sam cut in. He's not my boyfriend. He's my brother. I glanced at her. She winked at me. Oh, your brother. No wonder he takes such good care of you, the saleswoman said. Sam tried several more dresses. Each looked great. She seemed happy and bought them all. She also bought lots of cosmetics, skincare products, high heels. Looking at the mountain in the cart, my wallet ached. Why are you buying so much? I whispered. I'll need them anyway, she said matter-of-factly. Besides, this is part of you taking responsibility for me. I had nothing to say. Fine. Responsibility it is. Back home, Sam eagerly laid out all her new clothes and makeup, trying them in front of the mirror. She put on a red slip dress, light makeup, and walked over to me. Rocky, do I look good like this? The red dress made her skin look even fairer. Her lips red, her eyes seductive. I swallowed and nodded. Yeah, you look good. Then do you want to? She leaned closer, her voice teasing. Do something with me. My heart skipped. My breathing quickened. Sam, don't. I stepped back. What am I doing? She feigned innocence. I just want you to compliment me. She wrapped her arms around my neck. Her body pressed against mine, soft and warm. I could feel my body reacting. Let go. I tried to push her away, but she held on tightly. Rocky, I know you want me, she whispered in my ear, her breath warm. Just admit it. Her hand started roaming over me, lightly stroking my chest. I shuddered. My reason crumbled. I grabbed her, kissed her lips. They were soft, with a faint taste of lipstick. She froze for a second, then kissed me back eagerly. We kissed deeply, breathing hard. I lifted her into my arms, carried her into the bedroom, and threw her onto the bed. She lay on the bed, her eyes dreamy as she looked at me, a faint smile playing on her lips. The red slip dress spread open, revealing large patches of pale skin. I lunged at her, beginning to tear at her clothes. Just then, she suddenly grabbed my hand, panting, and said, Rocky, have you thought this through? If we do this, there's no going back. I froze, and suddenly my mind cleared. Right. If we do this, there really is no turning back. She is Sam, my best brother. How could we do such a thing? I quickly climbed off her, gasping for breath. Sorry, Sam. I was too impulsive just now. I said, my voice hoarse. Sam sat up, adjusted her clothes, and looked at me with complicated eyes. Can you still not accept me? No. I shook my head. I think we shouldn't do this. We are brothers. So what if we're brothers? She looked at me. Does that mean brothers can't have feelings? Rocky, I know you have feelings for me, and I have feelings for you too. Why can't we try? But she interrupted me. I've made up my mind. I don't want to change back. This is fine now. I can be openly with you. I looked at her, my heart full of mixed emotions. Give me some more time to really think about it, okay? She was silent for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, I'll wait for you, but I hope you give me an answer soon. In the days that followed, the relationship between Sam and me became delicate. She no longer deliberately tempted me, but often kept close to me unconsciously. When we ate together, she would accidentally brush my hand. When watching TV, she would lean on my shoulder. At night, when sleeping, she said she was scared and wanted to sleep in the same bed with me. I knew she was waiting for my answer, but I hesitated. On one hand, I did have feelings for her now. When I was with her, I felt happy and secure. On the other hand, I kept thinking of the old Sam, the times we were crazy and wild together. I was afraid that what we were doing now would ruin the brotherhood we had built over years. One evening, after dinner, we sat on the couch watching TV. A variety show played, and a couple was showing their affection, which made me a bit awkward. Sam suddenly said, "Rocky, look how happy they are." I said nothing. Do you think we could be like that someday? Sam turned to look at me, her eyes bright. Her question caught me off guard, and my hesitation felt gently shaken. I don't know. I avoided her gaze, randomly changing channels with the remote. She said no more, just quietly leaning on my shoulder. The TV noise continued, but I couldn't listen. The faint scent of her perfume lingered near my nose. Her body's warmth pressed against my shoulder, and suddenly I felt, maybe this wasn't so bad after all. A few days later, Sam's parents finally arrived. That morning, I was cooking breakfast in the kitchen when Sam rushed in anxiously. "Rocky, my parents are here. What should I do? What should I do?" She wore a white dress, her hair neatly done, with light makeup, looking pure and beautiful, but panic covered her face, her hands trembling. "Don't panic." I wiped my hands and comforted her. "We'll face it head on. It's something that has to be dealt with sooner or later. But if they see me like this, they'll surely faint." She was almost crying. "They won't." I patted her shoulder. "Uncle and Auntie love you so much. Even if they are shocked, they won't abandon you." Just then, the doorbell rang. Sam hid behind me in fright. I took a deep breath. "Don't be scared, I'm here." I walked to the door and opened it. Standing there were Sam's parents, an elderly couple with gray hair, their faces showing the fatigue and anticipation of travel. "Uncle, Auntie, you're here." I greeted with a smile. "Rocky, where's Sam?" Sam's mother peeked inside, smiling. At that moment, Sam slowly stepped out from behind me. Her parents' smiles instantly froze, their eyes wide open, mouths agape like they could fit an egg inside. Uncle Andy." Sam's voice trembled, clutching her dress nervously. Who are you?" Sam's father pointed at her, voice shaking. "Where is our Sam?" "Dad, Mom, I am Sam." Tears poured from Sam's eyes. "I have changed like this." "You're lying." Sam's mother screamed. "Our Sam is a boy. Who is this girl? Are you hiding our Sam?" "Andy, please calm down." I hurried to explain. "It's like this." I told them everything that had happened that night, how Sam became like this, unable to change back. Of course, I did not mention any of the complicated things between us, only that Sam drank a strange liquid and then became a girl. Sam's parents listened in shock, speechless for a long while. This can't be real," Sam's father muttered. "This is unbelievable." "Dad, Mom, I'm telling the truth." Sam cried. "Look, this is the birthmark from when I was a kid." She lifted her dress, revealing a small red birthmark on the inside of her thigh. Sam's parents saw the mark, their faces growing even paler. They knew that birthmark. "My son." Sam's mother could not hold back, hugging Sam and crying. "How did you become like this? How will you live from now on?" Sam's father's eyes reddened. He turned away and wiped his tears secretly. Watching them all cry, I felt heavy inside too. That morning, no one spoke much. Sam's parents sat on the couch, staring blankly ahead, still unable to process the shock. Sam silently sat beside them, tears flowing nonstop. At noon, I cooked lunch and called them to eat. Sam's mother shook her head. "I can't eat." "Andy, please try a little." I said, "The situation is like this now. We have to find a way to face it." Sam's father sighed and pulled Sam's mother's arm. "Eat something or you'll break down. Our child is like this now. As parents, we must stay strong." Only then did Sam's mother nod, picked up her chopsticks, but could not eat a single bite. After lunch, Sam's father called me to the balcony. "Rocky." He looked at me, his eyes full of exhaustion and helplessness. "Sam has become like this. What do you think? What should we do?" "Uncle, I know this is hard to accept," I said, "but now we can only accept reality. Sam needs our care and support in this state." "I understand." Sam's father sighed. "But she is a girl now. How will her future be?" I will take care of her. I looked into Sam's father's eyes and said sincerely, Uncle, rest assured I will be responsible for her. Sam's father was surprised for a moment, then smiled with relief. Rocky, thank you. He patted my shoulder. Sam is lucky to have a brother like you. RS from time to time. It was much better than when it first happened. They started teaching Sam things girls should know, like how to apply makeup, how to match clothes, and how to pay attention to manners and behavior. Sam worked hard to learn, as if she really intended to accept that she was now a girl. One day, she suddenly said to me, Rocky, I want to change my name. Change your name. I was surprised. To what name? I want to be called Serena. She said, the moon's moon, the heart's heart. I think it's a nice name. I looked at her. Her eyes were firm, no longer confused or panicked like before. That's good. I smiled. Serena. Then call me Serena from now on. She smiled at me. Her eyes curved like a crescent moon. From that day on, Sam became Serena. Her parents accepted the name too, calling her Serena warmly. After a while, Serena's parents went back home. They said they needed to handle some matters and explained Sam's situation to relatives and friends. Before leaving, Serena's mother held my hand tightly, warning me again and again to take good care of Serena. I promised her I would. After Serena's parents left, it was just the two of us at home again. But our relationship felt different from before. She no longer deliberately tempted me, nor brought up those messy demands. She began to live and learn like a real girl. She wore pretty dresses, put on delicate makeup, went shopping, and watched movies with me. She cooked dinner for me when I came home from work. When I was tired, she would massage my back and shoulders. Our interactions became more natural, more like a real couple. One day, I came home from work and saw Serena sitting on the sofa, holding a small red booklet, smiling happily. What are you looking at so happy? I walked over and sat beside her. She handed me the booklet. Look, I took it and saw it was an ID card. The photo was of Serena, smiling brightly. The name was clearly written as Serena, and the gender was marked as female. Your ID? I asked in surprise. Did you get it changed? Yes. She nodded, her face filled with happiness. My parents helped me get it done. Now I'm a real girl. Seeing her so happy, I smiled too. Congratulations, Serena, I said. Thank you, Rocky. She looked at me, her eyes full of gratitude and love. If it weren't for you, I really don't know what I would have done. She leaned over and kissed my cheek. This time, I didn't push her away. I pulled her into my arms, holding her tightly. Serena, I said, I will always be here for you. She nodded in my embrace. Her voice slightly choked. Sunlight streamed through the window, warming us both. I knew the old Sam was gone. Now Serena was a brand new life, someone I would protect for a lifetime. Although our beginning was absurd and strange, I believed our future would be happy. Days passed calmly. Serena and I lived like any normal couple, working, eating, sleeping, sometimes going out on weekends. But I always felt there was a restless spark inside her, one that never changed, especially when it was just the two of us. She loved to play little tricks. Take last night, for example. I worked overtime until 10, exhausted like a dog, only wanting to wash up and sleep. Just as I took off my coat, Serena came out of the bedroom. She wasn't wearing pajamas, only wrapped in a towel, her hair wet, clearly just out of the shower. Welcome home. She came up to me, stood on tiptoe to hang my coat, her chest brushing lightly against my arm. I shivered all over and quickly stepped back. Why aren't you asleep yet? Waiting for you. She smiled brightly at me, her eyes shining under the light. I put hot water for you. Go take a shower. I didn't dare keep her waiting. Grabbed my pajamas and rushed to the bathroom. Hot water poured down my body, but I couldn't warm up inside. My mind was filled with her image from a moment ago, wrapped in that towel, collarbones exposed, skin so white it dazzled, and the two little dimples at the corners of her smile. I shook my head, cursing myself for being weak. We'd been together so long. Why did I still feel like a clueless kid? After the shower, the bedroom light was off. Only the bedside lamp glowed warmly, casting a soft yellow light on the bed. Serena was already lying down, covered by a thin blanket, with only her head visible. Come up. She patted the spot beside her. I walked over and lay down, just as I tucked the blanket over us. She turned over to face me. You must be exhausted today. Her voice soft, with a slight nasal tone. I'm okay. I stared at the ceiling, not daring to look at her. Want me to massage you? Before I could say anything, her hand reached out, gently resting on my shoulder. Her hand was soft, her fingertips cool, pressing on my sore muscles. So comfortable I almost moaned. But gradually, her hands became less well-behaved. From my shoulders, sliding down my back, slowly moving lower. I suddenly grabbed her hand. Serena. Her breath tickled my neck. What's wrong? Don't tease me. My voice was hoarse. I'm not teasing, she said plaintively. But her hand did not stop. Instead, she slipped out of my grip and continued exploring lower. When her fingertips touched my waist, my whole body stiffened, as if electricity ran through me. Serena. I turned to look at her. In the dark, her eyes shone brightly. Rocky. She suddenly leaned in and kissed me. Her lips were soft, scented faintly with shampoo. Unlike before, this time her kiss was urgent and fierce, like she was releasing some pent-up emotion. My mind buzzed. All my reason and restraint collapsed in that moment. I grabbed her back, pinning her beneath me, kissing her fiercely in return. The blanket had long been pushed aside. Her towel had fallen off without me noticing. Our skin pressed together, burning with heat. "Rocky," she whispered in my ear, her voice soft like water. "I want." I said nothing, just kissed her more fiercely. Moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting a narrow band of light on the floor. The room was filled only with the sound of our heavy breathing and the muffled sounds of desire. When I woke up the next morning, my whole body ached as if it had fallen apart. The spot beside me was empty. The blanket was a mess, and my pajamas and her towel were thrown on the floor. I rubbed my temples and sat up. The scenes from last night flashed through my mind like a movie, making my face flush red instantly. Awake, Serena came in carrying breakfast, wearing my shirt, the sleeves rolled up to her elbows, revealing a patch of fair skin. She noticed me staring and blushed slightly, a little embarrassed. "Breakfast is ready. Get up and eat," I grunted in response, pulled back the blanket, and got out of bed, my legs still feeling weak. Suddenly, she burst out laughing. "What's so funny?" I glared at her. "Nothing." She turned around to set the table, but her shoulders kept shaking. "I just think you were pretty amazing last night." I was speechless. That damn girl. She really hadn't changed at all. In the days that followed, it felt like we broke through that invisible barrier, becoming more and more intimate. She no longer hid her temptations, but directly said when she wanted me. Sometimes before bed, sometimes on weekend afternoons, even once on the living room sofa. At first I was a bit embarrassed, but gradually she made me more relaxed. One night, after we finished, she lay on my chest, tracing circles on my stomach with her finger. "Rocky," she suddenly said, "should we get married?" I was stunned for a moment. "Get married?" "Yes." She looked up at me, her eyes sparkling. "My ID is changed now. I'm officially a girl. We can get married." Looking into her eyes, my heart softened a bit. "You want to get married?" She nodded. "I want to marry you." "All right," I smiled, stroking her hair. "When I have time, I'll go buy a ring." She kissed me happily on the cheek. "That's great, but I didn't expect." Before the wedding could happen, something else came up. About a month later, Serena suddenly started acting strange. She kept saying she felt sick, couldn't eat, especially in the mornings. She'd vomit after brushing her teeth. At first I thought she had a stomach bug, so I urged her to see a doctor. She didn't take it seriously, saying maybe it was just the hot weather. Until one night, she woke up vomiting badly. I knew something was wrong, so I dragged her to the hospital. The doctor asked her to have some tests. She was reluctant, muttering that it was probably nothing. When the results came back, she held the report stunned. I leaned over to look. "Doctor, what does this mean?" I asked nervously. The doctor smiled. "Congratulations. You're pregnant about 6 weeks along." Pregnant? Serena and I both froze, looking at each other silently. As we left the hospital, the moon shone brightly outside. "I'm pregnant." Serena suddenly grabbed my hand, her voice trembling. "Rocky, I'm pregnant." I nodded, my mind a mess. Do you want this child?" She was silent for a moment, then suddenly smiled, her eyes shining. "Of course I want it. Why wouldn't I? It's our child." She held my hand tightly, skipping forward like a child. Watching her back, I suddenly thought, maybe this isn't so bad. Although our beginning was ridiculous, and though she used to be rough, now she was Serena, my girlfriend, the mother of my child. "Rocky," she suddenly stopped and turned to me. "Let's go get our marriage certificate tomorrow." "Huh, so soon?" "Not soon enough." She wrinkled her nose. "I'm already pregnant. I can't let the child grow up without a dad." I looked into her bright eyes, and suddenly smiled. "All right," I said. "Tomorrow we'll get the certificate." Under the moonlight, her smile was especially bright, like the stars in the sky. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.